Now we are going to replace the charging port. The charging port cover can be replaced together with the light strip at the bottom of the big board. The first step is to blow and remove the foot support. After removing the foot support, we remove the 7 screws on the bottom plate. After removing it, lift the front cover first. Gently swing it up and left and right to remove the cover. First, cut off the heat shrink tube of the charging port. After cutting it off, we pull out the charging port. After pulling out the charging port, we start to remove the bottom plate. We remove the 11 screws on it. After removing it, we first remove the cover. After removing it, pull out the waterproof pad back and put it in this position. Now we start to repair the bottom shell light strip. The light strips on both sides of the bottom shell. Which side is broken, we replace it. If this side is broken, we find this line. Now we take this line out as the broken side and repair the whole line on our right hand side. Take out our programmable control module. Find the plug hole in front and gently pull the wire. If it can be pulled out, we can remove a little of the glue in front. After getting it almost done, we can continue to pull the wire. Now we place the wire that is loose. Now we use scissors to cut off the heat shrink tube of the wire that needs to be removed. After removing the protective heat shrink tube, we can unplug the plugs of these 3 wires. After the plugs are pulled out, we can pull inside to see if the wire head is stuck. We can test the top down slightly. After pulling it out, we can find a cross screwdriver to remove the 5 screws, and we will remove and replace it. Remove these screws and rotate them clockwise. And this screw rotates counterclockwise. Remove it. Now we remove the decorative strip of the light bar. And now we can take it out. Because there is glue on this side, we have to pull it off during the pulling process. Now a broken light bar has been removed. If you want to replace it, just take a new light bar and install it. Now after we get the new light strip, we first peel off the rubber strip on it. After peeling it off, we start to stick it from the back to the corner. We don't need to press it hard, we need to leave a little piece for it. There are points in this gap. If we press it too hard, the points will be damaged, resulting in no electricity. We need to leave some space for it. The same is true for the front. We can't squeeze it hard. We need to leave a little arc at the corner. Now, after we install it, we plug it in to test whether it is normal. We turn on the instrument below to see if the light is on normally. If the light is on normally, we can install the plastic decorative cover. We also install the screws that we removed and align the holes before installation. After the installation, our side cover light has been repaired. After repaired, we check whether there are cracks on the side. If there are no cracks, it is installed. If there are slight cracks, we can take screws and tap it gently. Then screw these screws again, reinforce them, and tighten them. Now we unplug the wires first, and now we can start to replace the charging port or the charging port cover. First, take a pair of scissors or any object, aim at the hot melt glue and pray it gently and it will come up. If we can't pray it, we can blow it with a hot air gun. Blow it a little. And then continue to use scissors to peel it off. Now we need to get a 17 to 19 open end wrench. Aim at this nut and twist it to loosen it. And then we can peel it off with our hand. Now we take out the nut of the charging port, and then the charging port will come out by pressing it down. This is our charging plus, charging cover plus charging port cover protective cover. If the charging port is broken, replace the charging port. And if the charging port protective cover is broken, replace the charging port protective cover. During the installation process, the charging port has a cover, an angle, and there is no angle below. How to remove the cover of the charging port facing up. How to install it in this direction. Don't install it from the back like this. It is useless to install like this. After installing it, we push it into to ensure that it can be covered when it is covered again. This is normal direction of installation. We hold this side up in the same way. Don't face it wrong. Don't face it like this. Otherwise, we can't install it tightly. Upwards with this covered up and down, we are arcs, and we have a little straight and flat on both sides. So the two sides of the charging are flat and the top and the bottom are round. We don't want to face the left direction and it is not easy to install it. We just put the microphone upright, facing up. We move slowly, find our direction and press it in. We put the charging port cover straight like this, and after pressing it in, we take our charging port nut and put it from here, and tighten it in the clockwise direction. When we tighten it almost, we don't have to worry about it to prevent it from falling off. This hand can be used to tighten the nut. After tightening the nut, we take out the heat-hot milled glue gun we prepared in advance and apply a layer of hot milled glue next to it to prevent it from loosening. After applying the moisturizing glue, it will dry itself after a minute. After it dries, now we can install the wires first, pass it through this window. After our wire is passed through, we take the heat-shrunk tube and pass it through. It can be inserted hole to hole. Don't insert the whole wire sideways. After inserting it, use our hot air gun to heat it. After heating, our front hole is loose during the process of removing the wire. To prevent water from overflow, we've used the glue gun to glue it again. After applying the glue, we can now put this load-bearing module back to its original position. Our wire is still pressed. After pressing, we take out our waterproof rubber pad and put it on. Then take out our cover plate and cover it. After covering it, we use our screws to tighten each part of it. During the covering process, we use our hands to fit the waterproof tape in place to prevent it from running out, which can better waterproof. Similarly, the motor line, brake line, and the pedal light tail line on our side should be fixed, and the wire buckle should be fixed. Now we can tighten each screw. After tightening, put the heat shrink tube on our charging port. And I will use our hot air gun to heat shrink it. After blowing the charging port, we can cover the bottom cover of this car. The same operation is done in this way. Before covering, press the button for our motor line and tail light line. Press the button in this direction, hook it with your thumb, and now tap it gently with your hand, and it will go in. It is also the charging port. When we press it, we have to arrange it on the side. This line should be buried and the front should be placed well. And while putting it down, we will see if the four sides are covered. If it is not covered properly, we will take a look, pat it with our hands, pat it on both sides, and tighten it with tools. Now, we start to put on the foot stand. After the foot stand is put on, this is how we change the charging port and cover and the light strip of the bottom cover of the large board.